I'm Frank Lessiter, editor of No-Till Farmer, and we're visiting today with Louis Krueger, the CEO of Cross-Slot No-Till Systems. Besides his manufacturing interests at Appleton Marine in Appleton, Wisconsin, Louis operates a 700-acre farm near Brillion, Wisconsin that's been in his family for more than 130 years. Late in 2018, Louis became involved with the cross-slot technology that was pioneered in New Zealand. In my conversation with Louis, we'll talk about the expanded role of this no-till technology in North America as we watch a 40-foot wide cross-slot drill and Amity cart being pulled by a 500-horsepower New Holland tractor seeding cover crops on his farm near Brillion, Wisconsin.
Why did you get involved with cross-slot?
Well, 2 years ago, we had severe soil erosion on the farm. We run 700 acres of primarily cash crops and some beef cattle.
Okay.
And we ended up spending about $200,000 fixing up eroded areas and waterways and stream beds. And thank goodness for some grant money that was reimbursing at 70 and 90% of the costs. But basically, we made the decision to go 100% no-till and cover crops on the 700-acre farm because we had to stop the erosion. There was just way too much damage.
Now, your farm manager, Ken Smith, told me you were doing no-till previously, but not totally at that time.
Yes, that's correct. We always had been using a Great Plains no-till drill whenever we could for our winter wheat and our soybeans and things. And then along with that concept, we were practicing vertical till. And the problem I see with vertical till is that you're tilling 1.5 inches or 2 inches deep, the depth that you want to plant at, so that you're planting your seeds down on the moisture for rapid germination. But when it gets drier, you have this 1.5 inches or 2 inches of very dry ground on the top. And with our variable weather now, with these torrential downpours, you get 2-3 inches of rain. That whole top layer of soft, dry soil lifts up and floats into your waterways.
So why'd you decide to make an investment in cross-slot?
I basically looked the world over for the ultimate no-till planting technology. And when I finally came across cross-slot, I said, there it is. I said, Dr. Baker, he's the man in New Zealand who developed it about 25 years ago. I said, there's the man. He got it perfectly right. You're putting the seed in the ground at the proper depth. It's classified as an ultra-low disturbance no-till planter. After you've planted across the field, if it's a sod field or something, you can't even tell you've been there because there's no soil disturbance.
So you took on the distribution or whatever for North America and South America, right?
Yes, we have all the Americas as our territory.
Okay. And you put not only with the agreement or whatever, but you brought Gavin Porter with you from Washington, so he's helping you run this here in Wisconsin, right?
Yes, Gavin had worked with Dr. Baker for 8 or 9 years, and they've sold machines. There's probably 200 machines operating all over the world. The majority of the machines are in New Zealand, Australia, and in Europe. There's probably about 50 cross-slot planters operating in the States.
So what we saw today, it's a 40-footer with 40, you can describe it better.
Yeah, it's a 40-foot wide machine, 10-inch spacings, so it has 48 openers on it.
Now, Kevin told me you could lift the front ones or vice versa and plant in 20-inch rows if you wanted to, right?
Yes, we designed the air distribution, the seed and the fertilizer distribution system such that we can plant with just the front gang, which would be on 20-inch spacings, or the front and the rear, which would give you 10-inch spacings.
So the-- systems kind of had a reputation for being low disturbance. Talk about this for a minute, 'cause you made an interesting comment to me about low disturbance, both above the soil and below the ground.
Well, there's lots of things at play there. And of course, the cross-slot system is basically a vertical coulter with a half shoe on each side of that coulter, one for the seed, one for the fertilizer. So the coulter is going through the ground, cutting a vertical slice, and the shoes are coming through the ground in a horizontal fashion at whatever height or depth you have set your planting unit. So basically you're getting perfect placement of your seed, and that's being blown in by the air system on your air carts. And the seed is blown to the outside of that horizontal shelf on one side of the coulter. The fertilizer is blown to the outside of that shelf on the other side of the coulter, and then the press wheels, which you can set the pressure on, and typically you run a couple, 300, 400, 500 pounds of down pressure, depending on the ground moisture. But that presses that slice of ground that you've made back where it came from. So after you've planted through with this thing, there is no disturbed soil. You're not tearing anything up.
So 40-foot rig we saw here is going to be pretty expensive. You got some ideas for getting some costs out of these rigs?
Yes. Appleton Marine, we've kind of cut our teeth on the outsourcing of manufacturing. That's how we run our main company. And we've been able to, on this 40-foot machine frame, we've been able to take over $40,000 of cost out of the frame. And presently now we have the detailed drawings on the cross-slot opener, and we are going to be sourcing those in the United States and building them in Appleton too. The first units that we built, we imported the openers from New Zealand just for savings of time. Now right now this is Dr. Baker's design. We are going to improve things, not change the machine, but with different hydraulic manifolding, we can eliminate most of these hoses, and we'll be down to just 3 of them. So as time goes on, we're going to continue to make machine improvements without changing the concept of it all. And hydraulics, and that is our specialty at Appleton Marine. We build all sorts of equipment that's primarily hydraulic driven,